gosh.
Is it going to happen?
Oh, we are live.
Ah, yes.
This is everybody's favorite part of the video.
The beginning?
Yeah, if somebody watches this later, they watch two people going,
does this camera work? This is magic, right?
Okay.
What is going on, guys? I'm WatchJRGo, and today I'm here with Elliot Alvis.
Hello, guys.
From the YouTube channel Elliot Alvis.
Yep.
And next time, live with Hoovie is the first comment, which was kind of the plan. I just haven't told him the plan.
Oh, yeah.
I just figured I'd show up.
You just go up. You just show up and start streaming.
It's just like Publishers Clearinghouse. Oh, what's going on, Hoovie? You get to be in my video.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, God.
All right, I don't want any.
No, thank you. And he just closes the door.
What's up, Jared? What's up, 100% Jake? He said Jake's first comment was single clutches are terrible and I can prove it, but
no,
he's so wrong.
You haven't driven them, man.
It's the motory notary.
You don't like the concept of them because you're a manual elitist.
Here's the thing about Jake. He's never driven a single clutch.
A single clutch anything.
And
as far as I know.
Right? Has he? The best single clutch is when you operate with your foot. Nope.
I like the computer and hydraulics to do it for me.
I like magic to shift my cars. And single clutches are truly magic. So today we are here to talk about single clutches versus the world. And of course, the world has has long decided that we are wrong.
Oh yeah, they've moved on to dual clutches pretty quickly.
Yeah, years ago. But we don't care because Elliot and I are here to tell you all that the single clutch is the greatest transmission and the Lamborghini Aventador is the world's greatest car.
Yeah. I totally agree with that.
I'm surprised.
And I know you're going to watch two people just agree with something.
I figured you were going to be like, no chance
no.
the Aventador is good.
I actually do. I mean, I've driven one. I loved it. And I love their reasoning behind selecting a single clutch. They had the technology for the
They
clutch,
did.
and they specifically went with the single clutch. Yep. The reason why I love them. Because it's dramatic.
Drama.
And it's fun.
Hilarious.
And I think the big thing is that it makes an exotic car feel more exotic.
So much. You know how boring the Aventador would be if it had a dual clutch? And for years I railed against the Aventador for being an old piece of trash. Because it is. There's no doubt the Aventador is super outdated. It's terrible to drive. But once you drive one and spend a bunch of time in it, you're like, this may be the greatest connection I've ever had with a car in my entire life.
It is, because I think it also adds back what you don't get in the dual clutch. The dual clutch is fast. It's amazing. And I love them.
Yep.
But you don't ever feel the shifts. You just the coolest part about a dual clutch is that brief fuel cut in between gears that you're like, that's cool. Yep. You don't feel anything.
Yep.
With the Aventador and any other single clutch, you feel when you pull the paddle, first of all, that feels great. And then you buck forward and buck back, and you're like, something happened.
You just have to realize that when you're driving a single clutch, and it doesn't matter if it's the Aventador, there's so many great single clutches, and the really good ones are, of course, F1 cars. Now, of course, F1 cars usually have a clutch button, because when they're launching an F1 car,
that's what
they can actually feather the clutch, right? So one paddle will turn into a clutch control or something like that. I think now they do it. It's way better now. But, just the insanity of knowing that a computer is taking this one little push of your finger and turning it into a clutch being pushed in, a gear shift being rode through what's not an H pattern anymore, but magically selecting the next gear and then releasing that clutch and feathering it in or getting out of it fast enough. It's just killer.
It's so cool.
So the smart car.
The smart car is your cheapest entry level way to get into single clutch life.
A true supercar.
Yeah, it's rear engine.
I'm kidding. It's a terrible piece of junk.
But on paper, rear engine, single clutch, rear wheel drive. I mean,
and the worst shift you've ever experienced in your entire life. Slow. If you ever get a chance to drive a smart car, please do it, because your brain and heart will connect with the engineering in the smart car, but nothing else will. It's just bad. The Oreo teas, I have the Supreme Oreos here, and I'm never going to open them. Somebody sent them to me like a year ago, and they're probably going to go bad just because they're so cool. Anyway, Black Seed Originals, thank you so much for your super chat. Patrick, thank you so much for your super chat. Volkswagen DSG is garbage.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not terrible.
I feel like it's actually really good.
Yeah, no, you want bad dual clutches or Hyundai dual clutches.
There you go. The Hyundai dual clutch has a high failure rate.
Yeah, those are pretty bad.
Even though Hyundai is amazing.
Yeah, it's a fine brand. It's just like, they even have a warning on one of them. They're like, hey, try not to sit at the stoplight and lurch forward too much on this, or you're going to burn it up. It's like, it's a dual clutch. How is that a risk?
Yes, exactly. Also, Jake has commented again. We're basically just going to read Jake's comments.
Yes.
Single clutch transmissions are awful because the best car in the world, the 2000 Honda Insight Hybrid, was not available with one.
Oh, well, I mean, it's a pretty compelling argument.
I guess that's an argument. Oh, man. Space Dude, thank you so much for your super chat.
He's all hyped up on it because he got it running again today. So.
Yes, he had to jump it.
Yep. Sometimes you do have to jump hybrids, folks. They still do have 12-volt batteries. And I haven't tried to drive my Prius today, but I guarantee it would not be happy.
Sam, you had to pull someone out of the snow yesterday. That's awesome. I'm glad I gave you the knowledge on how to do that. I actually planned on, and Tyler has a really good opinion here. I planned on getting the truck out and grabbing the tow strap and going out and pulling out everybody I could, but there's no one stuck on the road.
Yeah, it's not like there's not a lot of snow because it all blew. We had like sustained 25 mile an hour winds.
Yeah.
And it blew it all off. So it's just
off
like
the roads.
It's like just pure ice.
So I couldn't go have fun rescuing people with the truck.
Nobody's stuck.
And
people either crashed into guardrails or they made it home.
Right. And you know what's really funny is that truck is like such a monster on the road. I just left it in 4 all day. I was driving around.
There's nothing stops.
And I can floor it and it doesn't spin at all. It just goes. I was like, this is so stupid. Ford, you're a killer. Anyway, obviously we're doing this because it's another giant snow day here in Kansas, and they're shutting off the power to everyone's houses randomly.
Yeah,
in the entire Midwest.
No heads up either. They're just like, hey, we might.
That's it.
That's it.
There's the news says we're probably just going to shut your power off at any given time for 30 to 60 minutes.
And tough crap.
And if it's 30, we can keep this stream going. And if it's 60, we cannot because I don't have the batteries to run that long.
Oh yeah, you got a pretty nice UPS here.
We have big UPSs. We'll unplug everything else as fast as we can.
The fridge. You just unplug everything.
The fridge. It doesn't even matter.
It'll already be unplugged.
That's right. So Tyler's in here, and Tyler Potter said
the Alpha 4C.
4C is hot garbage. Which
I have heard that. I have not driven one.
Yeah.
But I've seen videos and people complaining about the way that they leave. It's similar to first gen R35s. People complained a lot about lurginess in those. Yeah. And it's a budget dual clutch. So there's a way to do it. I mean, it is. I know the 4C is not a cheap car.
It's an $80,000 car.
But they didn't have they couldn't spend $1 million developing just the transmission.
That's true. But they could have just bought somebody's transmission.
They absolutely should have.
Yeah.
But that's what you get. Kind of.
Well,
still cool.
Yep. And you know what? I've spent a bunch of time in the 4C. I haven't driven it, but one was on a rally with us, and I just hopped in with that guy because I was like, I want to see this. It was a bolt-on car. He had the intake and the tune, and it was a monster. And we had no problem keeping up on the highway, like speeds that we can't talk about. And it was great. The shifts were snappy.
Well, that's the.
But I think it was just maybe out of the hole.
Well, you're also like going full throttle, and that's what a lot of people are like. Everybody says that 60% or more of people complaining about single clutches are stops and start traffic.
Yes.
Which it's doing its best.
Right.
But nobody will say that a single clutch is bad at full throttle.
Right.
That's actually probably when they're the best.
It's when they're amazing. Because everywhere in between full throttle, they don't know what to do.
Right. They're doing their best based on what they know. They know throttle input, and they know that
vehicle speed, and that's it. Yeah.
But it's amazing that they're able to do anything. I mean, even the SMG and the BMWs, that's actually the best because they don't go through clutches like crazy.
They don't.
They were mass produced in a time when that was still very new technology.
Yes, it was still F1, 100%.
It was like, well, do you want a Ferrari? That's the Ferrari or Lamborghini you can get them, or this BMW that anybody pretty much can afford.
Right.
And it was the same technology, and they made it last better. I mean, you can go in 90,000 miles on the original SMG clutch. You can go 20,000 miles in a clutch in a Lamborghini or Ferrari. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, most people in the exotics are changing their clutches every 10,000.
Yeah, if you're driving them really hard and stuff. Yeah,
right.
For sure.
And I don't really care how often I have to change a clutch. When you sit in those cars and drive them, you feel like you are driving an F1 car.
Yep.
Like you are sure you are Michael Schumacher. Like it's
so great.
It's such a good thing. And most people haven't driven one. So I try to give people opportunities to drive them. And I tried to have Josh drive the M6 right before it blew up. And I was like, hop in, dude. This is the coolest thing you've ever driven in your life. And it blew up right then. That's when the engine locked up on it. I was like, no, you didn't get to drive it.
This is going to drive everyone nuts in the comments. But my buddy Jacob, when he was looking at E46 M3s, I literally talked him into getting an SMG.
Yeah.
Because he could have afforded a six speed. But I remember telling him, I was like, dude, they're actually a really good bargain. I was like, worst case scenario, if you blow it up, you swap it.
Right.
But I was like, I think he will like the SMG for daily driving. And it's a lot of fun. And he really is big fan of exotics too, and he gets it.
Yep.
But he was a little skeptical until he bought that car, and then now he's actually got it tuned, so it's more aggressive. I think it's like the CSL tune for the SMG, and it is awesome. It'll even skip gears on downshift. It's awesome.
EK Tech Talk here with some truth. He said the Porsche PDK is the king of dual clutches, and it absolutely is. It's one of the greatest things ever to drive in reality because it shifts like It's got the mind reading shift, and it's just like, oh, hi, new gear.
It feels impossible.
Yeah,
like it's crazy.
Doesn't make any sense.
They have the early PDK, really really good. The newest one is like, well,
unbelievable.
Yeah, like I drove the GT3 RS on my channel, and I had driven many PDKs, but that is peak PDK, and that was I can't imagine shifts being faster or better.
And like you were just saying on that M3 skipping the gears for the downshifts. If you guys didn't know this, this is kind of a secret. In the Huracan and in the Porsche PDK, if you hold the downshift, it goes all the way to the lowest available gear. Yep. So it will find like as much RPM as it can put in that engine and find it for you. Yep. So you can be in 7th gear and you need to like roll race or just accelerate quickly, and you hold the thing and it'll drop all the way to like 2, and then you can just floor it. It's sick. You don't have to sit there and shift down. Like nothing. It just blows your mind how crazy cars are like that.
And I did that in my Porsche GT3 RS video. I was like, all right, this is my favorite trick, because it also is always showing you what gear you're in. Yes. And it's fun to just mat it and have the computer think about it for 2 seconds.
And then it drops 2.
Yeah, it just is like 7, blink 2, and you're like, ooh, and it just goes, bah! And you're like, whoa, that was so much faster than I could have ever thought to do that. And it won't
money shift. It has a little pad in there, just that little bit before red line, and it won't redline its own engine. It knows everything. Like these things are. Anyway, back to single clutches being better than those perfect transmissions we're talking.
Yes, I know. We were like, single clutches are all this. We're like, anyway, dual clutches are so great.
Anyway, I love all the new cars that are so good at driving.
But the other thing about single clutches, and I do want to get to a few comments here, but the other thing that I love about single clutches is it represents such a brief time in automotive history when it was like, this is where we want to go, which is the dual clutch, but we can't yet. But this is such a cool way that we have the computers to do it, and we know that people want to be race car drivers, and we can make that happen. And it really only all single clutch cars, other than the Smart, all of those took place within like
a couple of years,
5 to 7 years of each other. 19, and then they were gone.
Well, it's more like 2003 to 2006 or something. And that was the beginning of it. Yeah. And what's crazy is like right then we were getting F1 cars delivered to us, like that M6 that I had. For $3,000, or I bought an F1 car, a V10 with a single clutch. That's wild. And man, I love that thing, even if it's junk.
And the other people don't realize. Well, now if you look at 360s and 430s, all the 6-speed manuals, the one to have, and they hold their value. Yes, they do. Yeah. But if you were alive and buying cars back then, there was a reason they steered you towards the F1. They were like, dude, check this out. This is where things
actually
are heading.
When it works. It's actually cool. And a manual is just still, I mean, we all know manuals. Right. You know, it's just a manual.
And you've driven a manual, and it's
just another manual.
It's more special in a Ferrari, but it's even more special when your special car has a unique transmission.
Yes.
And I do think everyone, they're not engaging. I think they are, because you're sitting there worried. You're like, all right, how do I make the computer not slip the clutch?
Yep.
You know, and then everybody in the comments should be like, well, it's easy. You just do it with your foot instead. No. Yeah, no, it's more fun to try to figure out what the computer's thinking.
If you whenever you're driving a manual car like that, a single clutch like that, especially the Aventador, it's really bad about it. If you just try to take off, you're like, I'm going to race this guy, and you floor it, it goes, and the clutch completely disengages. Yeah. It's like, sorry, you can't do that. So you have to feather them into the throttle, or they won't even take off. Yeah. It's such a crazy car. Like what we're describing is very bad cars. Oh, I know. And it adds so much to the experience of driving and owning a car. Like it's the greatest thing in the world.
I totally agree.
Yeah, DK Tech Talk defined PDK for the comments there. Porsche Doppelkupplung, which means Porsche double clutch. And obviously we have gated manuals here. Like my R8, it's a gated manual, but I actually don't wish that was S-tronic. If it was R-tronic or whatever, I would. I'd rather have the dual clutch in the R8, but the single clutch and everything else. Right. Yeah, because the R8 it's supposed to be a good car.
Yes, that one is supposed to be. You're not supposed to have to deal with
all
Lamborghini Ferrari problems.
Yeah, and if you want Lamborghini Ferrari problems,
you get one of those.
You get those.
You get an R8. You get a daily drivable supercar.
Yeah, those are nightmares for a reason, and they should be. Yeah. Patrick, huge thank you for your super chat. Still looking at 89 Land Cruiser manual. Recent comments are very helpful. No dual clutch. Older equals better built. So yeah, probably it may never need major service. If it has a timing belt, it's going to need a belt, obviously, which would probably be a Land Cruiser thing. I know Toyota likes to keep their drivetrains quiet. So there's a few things you'll need to look at there, but honestly, transmission's going to break at some point, change the oil, do a tune up. You're good forever on cars that old. Was that drink a Baja Blast? It absolutely was. And there's a little bit left.
Jake, okay, I have to acknowledge this. Jake says 1996, the original single clutch, the Saab Sensonic. I can't.
Nobody knows anything about that.
I'm going to keep posting it.
I'm going to assume.
Jake, I'm pretty sure you weren't even born in 96.
First, that's probably true. And then
I don't even know.
And also, he Googled it.
Yeah, you do 100% Google that. Because I didn't even know about that one.
I don't.
I mean, now if they sold them here, now I kind of want one.
We should find one of those.
But that is cool. Interesting.
Is the LaFerrari as close as you can get to an F1 car? And it's really a road car. I mean, and there's no
it has the curve system. It's a modern F1 car in that respect. But the older like F50 was like the one where they were like, this is straight up our F1 engine. Like they were basically like, we did this so it won't overheat on the road.
Right. So I would say like maybe it's the closest thing you can buy, the road going thing you can buy. But you know, it's more of a flex than a race car.
It is. I mean, they're still cool.
Not a Ford Flex, but Vinicus, huge thank you for your super chat. In Brazil, we only have Ford Power Shift. Yeah, I do know what everyone calls the Ford Power Shift because it is like the worst dual clutch ever built. They definitely had to up the warranty to 10 years, and they're all nightmares. But at least those cars are cheap. If you're looking for a bonus,
and
to
also
that,
Ford's burn up their own dual clutches.
Yes.
So yeah, we have the what is it? The Fiestas here.
That's the Focus.
Yeah,
it's the Power Shift.
Yeah,
it's that garbage transmission.
I mean, impressive.
Yeah.
How did they do that?
Leaves, huge thank you for your super chat. Money for burnouts. That's what I'm talking about. Gotta love that burnout.
Okay, Scott asked me, what 3 fixer-uppers would you like to acquire next? I've got my eye on some stuff. One may or may not be a BMW Z4.
I like the Z4. I had that.
Yeah, I've driven them.
I had the Z4 with the 3.0. It had a lot of it. Every time I would floor it, all the lights on the dash would come on.
Sweet.
But it's because if you remember, Hoovy had the Z3M.
Yes.
Right? I drove that. But when Jake went and drove it, the intake boot like exploded. And on my Z4, the intake boot was bad, and that's why I was doing that. I didn't find it until I was ready to get rid of the car. Somebody said, did you try Mountain Dew Major Melon yet? I have not yet. I wanted to count the bottles and win all that money, but obviously would have taken forever. And then somebody else said,
I do have to tune this in. Jacob just sent this. He says his dog loves this single clutch. And that's
look.
his French.
Yes.
He would not be able to take that picture if he had to shift gears.
Right.
But no, the SMG.
So now we know even dogs approve of single clutches. So, I mean, there's really nothing else we can say here.
That's great. To Scott, Z4. I kind of do want a smart car.
Where did a smart car would be pretty cool.
Elliot, what's your favorite car?
Somebody said ever find illicit substances when buying all these used cars. I honestly have been in some stuff where I've thought it was pretty sketch, and they go straight to the car wash, and we just we have them like pull the seats, vacuum everything. I don't need that in my life because that's how you get in trouble.
Elliot, you should.
Do you guys think
Corvette?
Do you guys think the AMG GTR is an underdog? And I don't think it's an underdog. I think it's
universally loved.
Yeah, everyone loves that car. It's perfection. It's 911 turbo levels of perfection. Yeah. One of the greatest things there is. So had a couple Z425s. Heck yeah, that is really good.
Tyler Potter, the dual clutch in the Fiat 500L. This is the worst looking car. He says it's surprisingly good. Now,
I don't know if I've driven that dual clutch.
Yeah, I have tried to avoid driving the 500L.
The 500L
it's like one of those where I'm like, and there's one in town that's Band-Aid color from the factory. And seriously, it's like, how did you make the worst looking car that you could still buy? And it's Band-Aid. I'm embarrassed to look at it.
Twice as bad.
Yeah.
John, huge thank you for your super chat. Money for Taco Bell. Thanks. You're reimbursing my earlier Taco Bell. The GTR Pro is god levels of car. What do you guys think of a rust-free 2002 C230K hatch stick cloth old man beige? We all saw
this to me. Yeah,
we saw the post. I was gonna buy it before you could. I might go buy it tonight.
It looks great, and the shocking thing for anybody who's familiar with those cars is the center display. The pixels were all still on.
Oh,
I was like, it's ridiculous.
One of my good friends had one of those when we were young, much nicer, red with leather. And that thing did donuts until the tires were gone.
That's awesome.
And it's just a beast for some reason.
Little Romeo had one, if you remember.
All right. That's
how that sweet green.
That's how you know how old we are.
I know. Let's get it. Who's little Romeo?
Little Romeo. I Google that. You have to watch 480p YouTube. Drew, huge thank you for your super chat. Your S60 has a CEL and limp mode. Coil? I don't know. Pull the codes, bro. You got to check engine light. That's the greatest thing you could have. I'd pull the codes if I could.
Head to O'Reilly's, dude.
That's it. They got the code reader.
And hi, I see that at the end.
That would be really cool. It'll just tell you the answer.
Contractually, that half of that $1 is mine.
That's right.
Yep.
It's high LED.
Thanks, guys.
Also, make sure you got the PCV6 update or whatever. Faster Proms made their smart car drag car with the K20. I remember their smart K20 swap. I never really saw much of it running though. I'm sure it does. I mean, lots of people have swapped smart cars. Would be really fast.
JR needs a haircut.
Will you be okay with fans coming to the shop? Flood X4. Huge thank you for your super chat, and we will find some way for
you need to do
some people to come to it won't be like just open, that's for sure. So we'll find a way to.
I see what he's doing there with that super chat though. He's trying to grease you a little bit.
Yeah. Hey man,
yeah,
super chat.
Super chat. I like it.
It's nice. Somebody said, have you considered Sheepy fixing the R8? Well, there's nothing wrong with my R8. It's physically perfect. It just needs tune. And I can tell you some secret things that I'm not even going to get into it, but they can't tune anything because they never have and never will. So I told you everything. There's another company that does that, and those guys can't get it done. So I do need a haircut for sure. You ever going to get another M6? Probably not for a while. I'll tell the king of code readers. It is. Now they have that new one that's better than mine. It's absolutely crazy. My R8 is wrapped too. It's wrapped white. It's all silver in reality. And yes, my hairstylist did disappear under mysterious circumstances.
How do you get ghosted by a hairstylist?
I don't know, dude. She may have actually fled to Mexico.
Which is so
pretty crazy.
Man, it's almost always the other way around. But, whatever. You got that one case.
I'm never going to cut my own hair. That's for sure.
I am rocking that salt and pepper, and it shows up in certain lights. But in his warehouse, when Legit Streetcars was there,
your hair looked.
I saw it. And I was like, I look
like so old right now. Old. The lights are too
right
bright.
Here. Yeah, it's all right here. It's okay.
Nobody knows who. Oh, okay. Will you pull the wing off your Maserati? That's a great question, Alan.
Okay, so here's the deal. It's not like on there super well, but everybody always asks, will I unwrap it, get rid of this, get rid of that? The whole car as it looks right now is what makes it recognizable.
Yeah, otherwise it would be pretty.
It would just be. Google what those cars look like without all the stuff on.
And I think you should maybe get a bigger wing, like
if I need to get a real wing.
A real wing,
like an eBay,
not the eBay junk, like a true carbon GT wing that's wider than the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way it doesn't fit in your garage very well. I think that's the ideal thing for that car.
And the other thing is Tavares drilled through the trunk.
Yeah, so you have to
sawzall part of the thing on the back. I mean, it's going to be kind of a permanent fixture. Right. Something is going to be there.
So he either buys a trunk to get rid of that thing.
And, but back to my point, Google what those cars look like, and I'm telling you, they're too plain.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're very unassuming. I don't think anybody would look twice at you on the road, which is what a lot of people like. But the wrap and wing are what make it what it is. You can look at that car and be like, hey, I've seen that on Car Trek or whatever.
Drew said he actually drilled that, and just like it was like a sidebar. You have to drill all trunks for wings that big. Mm-hmm. There's no. If you stick on a wing, it can only be like this tall. Because once you go like 100 miles an hour, everything gets ripped off.
Yeah, that thing actually is like in the wind.
Yeah,
like it's doing something.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's so much force getting put on that wing. If you have to drill everything, no matter what car you buy, it'll have a drill.
Yeah, it's on there, or else I would have probably unstuck it. But let's see.
Is your shop going to be a business? No, it will just be a place for us to create YouTube videos like this, and soon it will be very warm inside. We will just be in here making videos, enjoying stuff. We are obviously renting out the detail side to some good friends. That's like a permanent setup. Brett Hatfield, howdy JR. How's it going, Brett? Buy Video Bob's Yugo. I don't want a Yugo. Somebody earlier asked if I've driven the Ram Eco Diesel, and I have. And I drove the Eco Diesel right when it came out, when it was still a revolution and putting a small diesel in a half-ton truck. And it was one of the worst things I ever drove in my life. I floored it. We went around a corner, stopped, floored it, and I think it took 50 seconds to get to 60.
Oh my God.
And the internet says it's not true, but I guarantee, we were timing it, and I was angry at how bad that car was.
It was dangerously slow.
It was the worst truck I ever drove in my entire life. Now, apparently, they have fixed this Ram Eco Diesel, and it's fast now. But who knows? Who knows? Will the shop have an ice cream machine? No. It will have a kitchen. But who is the king of Tokyo Drift? I don't know. My brother was winning last I knew. But we need to.
We need a race going.
Yeah, we need a leaderboard.
Tyler Potter's a big wing gang because he's got that ZL11LE. It's all about cars with wings.
I love it. Somebody said, "Are you renting out the offices?" I'm like, "Absolutely, I will." That building, I don't care at all.
Dippin' Dots freezer in the shop. That would be pretty cool.
Dippin' Dots,
if you could get the thing, the one that like suctions it up. Cool.
Yes, the robot. That would be the coolest thing ever.
It's so unnecessary to have it do that.
I love Dippin' Dots. They're like my favorite. It is truly the ice cream of the future. The problem is now we're in the future.
I know, and it's still not the standard for ice cream.
It's just Dippin' Dots. we truly live in the future. Make a trimmer package truck on the Ford. Yeah, that'd be okay. Cool. I wouldn't mind trimmering the F-250. I know they sell it now.
Will you start
still
your videos to JR's? Probably not going to shift my videos to his place. Got my own little space.
Yep,
which is great.
He has space.
I'm gonna show up.
There you go. It's gonna be sweet.
But I'm not just gonna be all up in his business.
All right, David's questions are getting ridiculous here. Sauna? No, I'm not putting a sauna.
Yes.
Roller coasters? How many roller coasters are you putting in?
I would say no sauna.
None.
I'd say steam rooms because you can just go tile, and you don't have to. It's
right.
A lot easier.
Just a steam generator. Right. Yeah, it's so simple. Just things that you need. Tyler said there's an update for the Eco Diesel that fixes it, and
I'd take his word for it. He is the expert.
He is the expert on that. Why does Kansas dominate automotive YouTube? We kind of talk about this in every stream. There's just a lot of us here, and there's nothing to do except cars. Like we don't have any theme parks. We don't have any attractions. There's nothing else to do outside except to work on cars and go have fun. So,
and it's a surprisingly active car community.
Yeah,
it's not just like, well, there's all these YouTubers. I mean, I swear we have a bigger active car community here than some like larger cities.
Yes,
it's bizarre that there's such a car culture here,
and normal cars too, because there's not that many supercars.
No, there's not that many supercars, but there's more than anybody would think.
Yeah,
because everybody would be like, there's not even a Ferrari in Kansas.
Oh no, we must have like 200. But if you went to like Chicago, there's like 10,000.
Yes,
all the supercars.
But per capita, we still have quite a few.
That's right. Buy a Tesla Model 3? Absolutely not. I do not like the Model 3. I don't enjoy the way it looks. I don't enjoy the way it drives. The Model S is the one true Tesla.
Thank you for the compliment on my wife. I agree. She is adorable. It's a good question from Howling Break there. What about all the tornadoes?
What about all the tornadoes?
What about them? They do happen, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, we'll just have to tell
it's gonna suck if one hits either building.
Yeah,
it will be a major problem.
Just move over.
I did.
No, the tornado.
Oh, I thought you were like,
not you.
Move over. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to see.
Did legit streetcars make it back to Chicago? Yeah, he did. But I mean, watch his videos. He's definitely talking about it very shortly. Crimson, huge thank you for your super chat. I need you to fix my 6. Your Mazda 6, your M6, your X6, your like what you got? We get
one of them. You can fix both of them.
Let's not talk about tornadoes. Yeah. Well, it is freezing everywhere. Get an electric car. I have a Volt. It's electric. Are there any automotive YouTubers in KC? I mean, there's Walterific, and who else? Who else do we know in KC?
In Kansas City, Automotive.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can think of.
Just Walter. That's it. Motorcycles only. That's what represents Kansas City. Now, I'm sure there's a couple of guys up there. SRT is being canceled. Yes, I'm going to make a video about that. And somebody said post the video of the Audi engine coming out. And it's not out yet because I can't be in the shop right now, basically. It's 1 degree. And
it is. Wait, when you go outside right now, it makes you like short of breath. You breathe it in, your body's like, it's crazy.
It's bad. Bad. You know it's bad when the power company's like, yep,
shut up. When the power company's like, yeah, we're not even dealing with
this. Can't even do it. Crimson, huge thank you for your super chat again. Mazda 6 3.0 blown head gasket or blown head.
Just today.
That sucks, man. It is unfortunate, and I like the Mazda 6, and the 3.0 is a good engine, so that is unfortunate. What's the best scan tool for under like $25? Something Bluetooth with your phone. Autel makes one that costs a little more than $25, or there's the generic one you can get on Amazon. That's really the one. I mean, you probably want to use your phone.
Yeah, any of the OBD2 to USB ones are going to be your friend.
Yeah, wireless, USB, anything like that. You will be good. Watching in Newton. What's up in Newton? It's cold and power might shut off, I guess.
This is a Zevia, folks, not a cold one. It is a cold one.
It is a cold Zevia. Man, a classic Elliot move. Busting out the Zevia. And he has Evian here.
Oh, I know.
So if you guys watch his videos,
it staples.
He staples
about both.
The Evian.
But this is Dr. Zevia, which is their Dr. Pepper.
He came over to the warehouse and put
we changed
Mr. Pepper PhD.
Part of that was Jake. We added everything that was funny that you could to your Samsung refrigerator shopping. It's nuts. There's clams, cream, just cream, not any specific kind. Fruit. What are the spaghetti loops? Spaghetti hoops. Which is, they don't want to say SpaghettiOs. It's so great.
Yeah.
The Samsung grocery list library that they have is hilarious.
It's built into the fridge. There's nothing else you can do. You just have to pick things. You know? Yeah. You can type them in.
And then obviously we put conch and Diet Conch was conch for fats.
Fish fingers.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the fish fingers.
Oh man.
Jake and I had a real good time with that.
How does the Volt compare to a Prius? We are really far off of single clutches, and
we are, but that's right in our wheelhouse too. The Volt. Okay, hear me.
Evian,
Prius fan.
Hold on. Evian is just naive spelled backwards. Oh man, that was amazing.
That's true. You know what though? Fun fact about Evian: there was a spa that offered a $2,000 bath, like that you could go there and they would fill it with Evian.
All Evian,
and you could just take a bath in Evian.
You know,
$2,000.
What's hilarious is that's probably only like $30.
Oh, it wasn't that? I know. I was like trying to do. I was like, it's not that much. Especially if you buy them like this size.
Let me know in the comments if you want to take a bath in Evian and you're willing to pay $2,000. I'll rent a building tomorrow just so you can make this happen.
When I hit 100,000 subs, I might do the Evian bath. You know, I'll be like, thanks, you guys. I'm gonna do a Scotty Kilmer. That's like, you all made this possible.
That's my new business. It's just Evian baths. There will be separate rooms full of baths. And it's actually has a tap and it just says Evian. It's branded.
That'd be so great.
It won't even be Evian.
I know, it doesn't matter. I'll feel better about it though. It's just tap water. No, but to answer the question real quick, Volt versus Prius, because we could expand on this. I think as a Prius owner, the Volt is so much better. Yeah. But the price difference it used is crazy. So they didn't make that many Volts and they held their value pretty well.
No, they didn't.
Well, not
which one?
Comparatively, the Gen 1s are. They held their value better than
Gen 1 Priuses are worthless, right? Yeah. A Gen 1 Prius is like $3,000 maybe.
For even a good one.
Right. And a Gen 1 Volt is about $8,000. That's what I just sold mine for. And it's a nice, it's a taken care of, lowish mileage, 100,000.
A couple of years ago, I was looking at, they were still like 12. So I was like, and they're great though. But it's the idea behind it that it's an electric vehicle right up until it can't be. Whereas Prius is like, we'll cut the motor off when we can.
The Prius is all over the place with its electricness.
Yeah. It's sporadic. You have to drive it really funny to get it to be on electric all the time.
Absolutely.
Unless you have the Prime or the plug-in hybrid. Even then, you'll still kick the motor on whenever you give it perceived too much throttle.
And the Volt,
you can floor it.
Yeah, the Volt does not do that. It only turns on the engine when the battery's dead, basically.
Right, and that's awesome.
Or in mountain mode. So that part's really great. And then if somebody said Gen 1 or Gen 2 Volt, the Gen 1 Volt looks the best. The Gen 2 Volt is better in every way. Yeah. Like, oh man, it's a different car. Scuba Steve, huge thank you for your super chat. I know you want to come buy the Porsche. You need to come over. Why does everyone in Kansas have money? Elliot looks like a GQ model.
Thank you.
Hopefully I look
That's like a big compliment.
Hopefully I look like a WatchJRGo t-shirt model. That's what.
Because you gotta move that merch, dude.
That's.
I bought one full price, by the way.
Oh man, no discounts?
No,
I don't get discounts either. Actually,
I bet. I know. I wish you were one of those YouTubers that just like this other room is boxes of merch.
Since I have nothing to do with my merch, I don't get any discounts or anything like that. Yeah. Is the shop gonna be a joint business venture? Nope. Is it a Motul franchise? Nope. Is it? It's literally just a place for us to hang out and make videos, guys. What about the Mach-E? I canceled that pre-order. Buy a 911 like Hoovy. Maybe. Is the SRT Ram 10 still for sale? Yes. SRT Ram 10. Anyway.
This Mo guy keeps spamming something.
It was the same thing over and over. Yeah. It's literally just to make videos.
Joel, I do too, but
Poor Hellcat, man. Yeah. Too bad. If you would have just sold it to CarMax.
I know, trust me.
That's all you had to do. Derby lost power? We don't have any notifications about this. Hold on here.
You got everything on backup though.
look at that. A car I was going to buy for the channel.
Someone wanted to pick up Republic and start a car channel just to spite Elliot. I'm probably not too far away from that. I need to stop mentioning that I'm a Notary Public, or else someone's going to move in on my territory.
No, the power's not out. Yeah, definitely not.
I need 300,000 mile non-Toyota trucks out there. Yeah, there's tons. Eric just had a 400,000 mile Chevy Silverado. Right?
No, it's 600,000.
600. See, that's double what he was asking.
Yeah, we do need to buy that car that I was looking at to do a little fun flip. Is my saw for sale? Probably not. Probably not. Would you consider getting another Miata? All day. Michael, huge thank you for your super chat. What's your opinion on old school audio setups? Here's the thing. What do you mean by old school?
I would say, well, yeah, I was going to say,
do you mean like
talking like 90s,
2000s, or like 80, late 80s? Because late 80s is like really bad stuff. It's all just kind of junk. None of it sounds good, really. It was like they were components for the sake of being components, and now it's all like insane what we've gotten to. Like everything's good now,
but now you don't need to do it anymore. Like so, I think peak sound system like for that culture was like 2004 through 2007 because the tech was there. And all the tech, all the speakers, everything was as good as it could get, and the culture was still there. Yeah, we had like we had tons of shops in town that would do it. It was like everyone was putting car audio in.
That's what I did car audio too. Like for everyone else, and it was amazing. Like we loved the car.
Having a sub in your car was the coolest thing. Yeah. And now it's like
every single
car
there
embarrassed. You're like embarrassed. You're like, oh, I've got a sub.
This car has a stock 210s in the back at this point.
Yeah, no, my Hellcat had 2 10s in its Harman Kardon speakers. It was like,
sick.
Why would you ever modify that?
7 Series BMW has 10s under the seats. Yeah. It's both front seats. I mean, cars are just, it's wild now. But Hit Clips 2004 was the
Hit Clips was great. I had a few. Right. I had a Britney Spears.
Dropped the Britney Spears one in. That's the only one they sold, I think, really. That and NSYNC. And then somebody said try to get a GM EV1 since we're talking about EVs still a little bit. Here, you can't get an EV1. I've tried. Dude. The EV1's one of my favorite things ever. And I have seen one.
Because they crushed them all. There's a whole documentary on it. It's great. Jake or Scott had a good question.
There's something like 13 EV1s left in existence.
Really? I thought there were less than that.
No, they're all in museums. And a bunch of schools have them. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's somebody that posted, it's like a University of Ohio is like abandoned in their parking garage. But they can't touch it. Nobody can get it. Scott asked, what's my go-to McDonald's order, which I think we can both ask. And I know it's surprisingly simple. It's the number 9. It's the 2 cheeseburger meal.
2 cheeseburger?
Got to rock a Dr. Pepper.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, I don't customize it at all. McDonald's knows what they're doing.
They do. I mean, the pickles, that's a hard no. I always have to mix the pickles.
I think the whole thing, it's a complete package. And they're like the perfect size. Oh, I love it.
Some EV1s do have drivetrains. I think the one in the Peterson does. And I think a few others do. PV or Electro Voice, that's an easy question there. Electro Voice is a real company that makes good stuff. PV is a very bad company that makes junk. Yes, I know Guitar Center used to sell like crazy on the PV side, but EV is, they make real stuff that gets toured. PV is like, there's a whole bunch of things that you say about PV, like Bose, bring other sound equipment. Or no highs, no lows must be Bose. Even though Bose like actually makes a few good things now, like the QC2s and a couple their line array is good. But Bose used to be junk. Now they're pretty good. PV is still junk. It's like as bad as the Guitar Center brands, unless you're running their guitar amps, because their guitar amps are a whole nother ball game. What are your thoughts on the new M1 Max? Shut up, Jake.
I like it. I just got one.
We just did the whole thing yesterday with Jake.
Jake.
Are you going to put a pool table in the shop? No. Are you going to order McDonald's right now? Maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
I might. Klipsch? Well, that's a different ball game, right? We were talking about pro audio, and Klipsch is not pro audio. It's home audio.
It's amateur audio.
Amateur audio. That's right. It sounds good.
They kick ass for computer speakers though. Back in the day.
They made Klipsch made a 2.1.
Yeah,
that was super rare back in the day, and it was just insane. How about a future live chat with Jake, Elliot, and JR? Derek, thank you so much for your super chat.
Maybe
that's definitely something we could put together.
Especially because this is like a snow week.
We can't make any videos except this, so that's why we're live hanging out with you guys. JBL versus Collie. I don't know what Collie is. But JBL is Harman Group, and Harman Group makes a lot of good stuff. I like JBL. Yes, the Pro Media 2.1, I think. That was that like old God mode system that they quit making like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Need pole dance in the garage.
Nope.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty tall one. Seriously.
Bose was arguably better at making automotive suspension. Yeah, if they ever made it.
Yeah,
if they would have ever made it,
that would have been so cool.
Can you guys believe that cars jumped at one time? Now they don't.
It's so nice.
Crimson, thank you so much for your super chat for the nugs. The best computer speakers, the Harman Kardon sound sticks. Those are the clear ones.
Those were so
for
cool.
the Mac, right?
Yeah, they like had them in Apple stores, and they looked so cool.
The sub does weirdly like hit, but it only hits at one frequency. Like,
but it almost didn't. That was definitely one of those. Look at these. These are cool.
Yeah,
it was like
you
these
looked
are cool.
at it, but it sounded terrible. Yeah. Terrible.
But they had like it was like 4 tweeters like in that stack,
and then that round,
sub with the whole,
right,
like thing.
And it could only hit at like 90 hertz or something, and all the rest of the frequencies were just worthless. Man, no power since 2 a.m. in Houston. Sorry about that. Should I burn a Corolla for warmth?
Yeah, probably.
It's a Toyota. You might not.
In Houston, no, you're gonna be able to find them pretty easily. So
Rudder Files said he likes Scar audio for the keeping the price low. Scar makes a lot of good stuff, kind of like SoundCubed, that just crazy SPL outputs.
My Sonos Play 5 is thumped. Sonos is great.
The thing about the Play 5 is the Play 3 sounds better. I hate to like say that. I know you just posted you have a Play 5. The Play 1 sounds really bad. It's like missing a lot. The Play 3 sounds incredible. And then the Play 5 has a ton of bass output that sounds terrible. Terrible. Oh, is the fridge creaking?
It's not like somebody opened the door. It's like
Crimson, huge thank you for your super chat. It says for everyone. I guess nuggets for everybody. Creative Labs has the best speakers. They don't. They had some really good stuff back in the day, but I mean, they quit a long time ago.
Subaru Baja versus Explorer Sport Track. Now that is a discussion. Subaru Baja is pretty tight.
It is,
but I also do like the Explorer Sport Track because the Explorer Sport Track's
the thing is
a good car.
I just wouldn't want the Sport Track. I'd want an Adrenaline.
Well, yeah.
I mean, the Adrenaline is amazing.
But the Subaru Baja had that like little bar thing that when the bed tailgate was up, made it like ate up all of your bed space. Yes. It was like,
yeah. But honestly, the Baja is unique.
Of course, AJ is like Baja, not biased at all.
Not a Subaru owners in here. The Sport Track's not really special. So the Adrenaline is like the coolest thing ever, though. Nothing about the X5. I mean, we're gonna do the giveaway maybe this week since there's not much else to do. Harman Kardon. Yeah, I know how to say it. Yeah, those KRK rockets are not very good. It's the cheapest studio monitor you can get your hands on. Somebody was asking about them. I think they're $300 a pop or $200 a pop. That's the new G5 with the LCDs and crossovers built in. KRK, everything they make is super bass heavy, but it's pretty accurate everywhere else, right? So it has like a weird built-in bass boost that I don't love, but they're accurate enough to monitor where I edit all my YouTube videos over there. So I love them. I would, if I was going to do something else though, you have to jump to about $3,000 a monitor and do like general like actives. So I don't like there's no point in spending $500 extra for a little bit of quality when you could either just buy those and be most of the way there or buy Genelec and do it right. So obviously Genelec is the correct way to do monitors. Yeah, there is no bass boost in them. They're like perfection. Brooke Premier, huge thank you for your super chat. You said everybody works on cars in the garage. Elliot, will you take the Maserati to the track?
So hopefully one day, but it needs, as I found out this weekend, the bushings are bad. I knew that, but apparently all of the shocks are blown too. And guess what they don't make? They don't make like Monroe.
There's no drop
that just like put in there.
But they're just coilovers, right?
Yes. So I guess you could find something.
No, Monroe makes drop-ins for those things, right? So what you do is the shock body, you just like hack it off with the Sawzall, right? And then they'll have a drop-in that slides inside it. So that fixes your problem.
That could be fixing.
I've done that on some
regardless, the bushings are going to be thousands for freaking bushings. Stupid.
Oh, Maserati problems.
Yep.
What did I mean by everybody though working at the shop? Other like YouTubers probably. Like if Elliot needs to change these shocks, he can use my shop. That's how that's going to work.
He has a 2-post and I do not.
Yeah.
You have more than one 2-post.
There you go. We can work on more than one car. Just check Rock Auto for your Rock Auto for your Maserati suspension.
They did have. No, they didn't. Never mind. I was like, they did have some stuff.
I doubt it.
It's no.
Yeah. And then somebody asked what I'm using for my camera setup on the channel. It's that right behind me there. It's the Sony ZV-1 and the wide angle adapter on it.
Don't get Jake started on it.
With the video micro. It's a piece of junk that's okay. That's like, it's the closest thing we have to a good camera for YouTube. Serious question. Should I buy an old Maserati?
Depends on how old and if you have the money to fix it. It's almost always no, because there's a reason that the price of entry is not the price to play.
Right. So hopefully you like working on it a lot. If you do, it's great.
Because anything you do, I mean, if you don't work on it yourself, you are going to exceed the value of the car the first time you take it to the shop.
Yes.
Even if you do work on it yourself, though, the parts are horrendously expensive, at least for my year.
Yep.
I think they got a little bit better as they started making more of them, and I'm sure like parts for like the Ghibli that have a lot of crossover.
Yeah, it's probably not just a
bad.
Chrysler, right?
Yeah, so it's not that bad.
But you can buy Dodge window switches,
right?
But you can't buy real Maserati.
Yeah, the Maserati that I had, they made less of my car through its entire span than they did. They made more Ferrari 360s. That is a more common car than the Maserati Cooper Spider. It's crazy.
Somebody said, "When's the balcony going up in the shop?" It's we got the upright, 2 of the uprights up a couple nights ago. So it's going up right now. Why not use GoPro? Because it's terrible. The GoPro is like it's only good for being an action camera with nothing hooked up to it. The media mod is terrible. The audio adapter is impossible to get and terrible. The battery life is mediocre, and the video quality is mediocre.
We're saying all this. Hoovy uses a GoPro.
Well, he switches between his real camera and the GoPro.
But
if you're doing that, it works.
Yeah.
But the GoPro,
if you use it exclusively, it'd be pretty brutal.
It's a piece of junk.
But yeah.
Yeah. It's great for what it's meant to be, an action camera.
No cool note to self, get a Ferrari 360. I mean, yeah, apparently that's the Honda Civic of Italy.
Clearly the one and only audio system is the Sony system and Forza with Sync 1. I don't know, because I have Sync 3 and it has a really sick Sony system.
Sync got better.
Yeah, Sync is really
good. It's not a system that got worse.
And what's funny is the Sony system that's in my truck, for 2019, they changed the badge and now it says Bang & Olufsen.
Right. It's whoever paid to have their thing on there.
It's really good. Josh jumped in the chat here, the Fractured Rooster Garage, and he said the GoPro overheats. And if you run the media mod, it overheats all the time.
The 8 especially.
Terrible.
I haven't heard that about the 9 yet.
I think the 9's a little better, but
yeah.
He has a 9, I think. And he's having problems with it too. Anyway, there was like one more non-camera question. I don't remember.
Best super budget film. That was a camera.
Super budget.
Ford Sync SI.
Yeah, you should just keep using your phone. You should definitely use your phone. Best driving ugly car. Something with
it's all subjective, because there's a lot of people who think like the Ferrari Enzo is an ugly car, and it's like
there's got to be a single clutch that's ugly.
That's ugly?
Yeah. What could it be? Did they ever make
my Maserati without all of the stuff on it? It's not really that great looking.
It's also not that
you
bad.
Could get a single clutch,
and you still feel like an F1 driver. Still feel in it. Yeah. That thing is sick when you grab downshifts with a single clutch Maserati, because it is kind of a Ferrari engine. And
but once you get it because it's a crossplane crank, it still sounds like a high revving American engine.
Kind of.
It's got more it's so different.
But it goes to like 8 or 9,
goes to 8
or 9,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it's screaming, you're still like,
oh, it's nuts.
Magic.
It's crazy, especially because I'm so used to driving American cars, stick shift. And this one, it's like letting the GT350 wrap out. You're like, I felt more comfortable shifting 3,000 RPMs ago, but here it goes, and it keeps going.
Everyone keeps asking about Volvos. I don't want another Volvo for a while. I'm still so over the C30. The C30 screwed me so badly. I thought it was going to be amazing because I thought people would like the videos, and it didn't do well, even though I love the way it looks and I loved the way it drove and everything. And then when I went to sell it, check this out. When I went to sell it, battery went dead, right?
Yeah.
Go out and jump it. Airbag module killed itself. So then the airbag light was on, and it was a perfect car. It never had a single problem with the airbags or anything. So Josh and I went out, jumped the thing, tried to clear the codes, nothing. Airbag module is legit dead, and I ended up losing like $2,500 on that car. It was a huge loss because the only guy that ever showed any interest in it and showed up with some money was
turned off by that.
Yeah, he was like, well, it has a light on. And I was like, look, just give me whatever money you have, and I have to take it, because it was a literal nightmare. So, yep, I'm mad at Volvo right now. Great cars. There was nothing wrong with that thing that couldn't be fixed.
You're mad at early 2000s Volvo.
I'm mad at just the fact that the C30 didn't work when it was one of the coolest cars.
I love carrying grudges like that over to whatever. It's like a 2020 Volvo. Still probably same problem.
Yeah. Is it snowing in Kansas? Absolutely. Can you pronounce urination Bob?
Mm-hmm.
There you
urination
go.
Bob.
Just did it. Another not so hot sound system is the Meridian, the Land Rover. You're right. Yeah, the Meridian is really weak. I have driven that, and it did not have enough volume at all. It was like they kind of threw it together and failed. Just disconnect the airbag module. Then the light would have stayed on. The problem was getting the light off, and it even shows it on the display in the dash. It says there's a problem with the airbags. C63 W204. I don't know any Mercedes model codes. So I hate to admit this.
I know.
But like Mercedes is such a black hole of terrible models. Like BMW makes perfect sense. E36, E39, E46, E60 all makes, and even once you get into the Fs, it still makes sense.
Well, because it's a memorable number of digits.
That's
versus
right.
Like Mercedes going
Mercedes
like
says
it's
this
the
stupid stuff.
MW349C, and you're like,
I don't know what a W204 is. I know what a C63 AMG is if it's like a 2004. But no, Mercedes is so terribly bad. And honestly, I don't think I've ever actually owned a Mercedes, even though they're way better than BMW. Hey, Jared is moderate and hard. Somebody kept being annoying, and he just got rid of all their messages. Thanks, bro. Huge thanks.
I can't believe there was that one time my wife called me, and I missed being a mod. You sent it to me, and I was like, it was right when I got the phone call. Awesome. I was like, hello, and everyone's like, oh, you missed it.
I'll make you a mod. But if you post the same thing over and over, you're getting blocked. Like, just post.
Okay, Trent, I have to acknowledge this. I don't know what his question is, but he said manual Ford Ranger multiple times, and it's like, they're great. That's the only way to do it. In fact, because if you drive an automatic 4-cylinder Ford Ranger,
it's gutless.
It's scary.
Gutless.
It doesn't have enough power.
Gerardo, that's the one I want to go back to. Huge thank you for your super chat, Gerardo. Love your vids, subscriber. What do you think about the Dodge Charger 3.5 V6? Any tips on maintaining that car? It's like the usual stuff on that V6. It's a really Tyler Potter weigh in the chat.
Yeah,
because that guy
is Mopar master tech.
He knows what's up. But I think it's a really reliable engine that makes a good amount of power. And you know, you see Dodge Chargers that are everywhere all day long, and they have no problems.
And nobody's maintaining them, and they're
getting beat to death.
Yeah,
and so it's a good engine if people are just trashing it, and it's so good. David Carlson, huge thank you for your super chat, just because you have a great chats. Thanks, man. Thanks for watching. I'm just hanging out and talking about how single clutches and the Aventador is the greatest car.
Yeah, I really do wish, because AJ asked what are some lesser known single clutch cars, and other than the one that I didn't know about that Jake mentioned, I really don't know. I mean, it's the Smart. People don't generally know that that's a single clutch.
Yeah,
but there's a reason. It was really expensive to put the little hydraulic module onto an existing manual car. So most manufacturers just didn't justify it unless it was an exotic. By the time the technology became cheap enough to be in everything else, dual clutches were available, so they just kind of moved on. It's, like I said, it's one of the reasons I love them. It's because it's just such a brief time in history when they were like, what if the computer could shift for you? And I love that.
That's right.
And
the computer went and did it.
Yeah.
Magic. Just magic. Lexus LFA is a single clutch, which would be one of the greatest cars ever made, ever.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing. If there was one car you could have in life that pretty much can never be topped, it's the
it pretty much checks all my boxes too. Retractable spoiler, single clutch,
amazing sound,
more than a V8,
gauges that move, gauges that literally move. If you guys have never seen the LFA's gauges, you Google it. All the later Lexuses that you guys have probably seen, they just tried to like copy it, and what they did was put a display in there, and then they like digitally slide it. Tyler said on that Charger V6, there's your answer right here: timing belt and a water pump, and you're good. The master has spoken. So that Charger is probably a beast forever, and that's only a couple dollars of rent. $30 for a timing belt, maybe 50. Water pump, $30. Boom, yeah. Charger V6, good forever. Back to the LFA, the tack slides based on what mode you're in inside the gauge cluster. It's not digital; it is a motor moving a screen. That's nothing like that has ever been done before. And never will again, probably.
And I love the reason that they went digital. The engine changed RPMs too fast.
So fast they couldn't move
they couldn't do it with a traditional needle. That's such a cool reason. That alone, I'm like, okay.
It can basically like slips time, right? Because the engine revs so fast, the tack couldn't do it, and a screen can't do it either. But what they can do is skip big digits.
Yeah, and they also show a mark of where it was, and it jumps to where it is.
So cool.
So cool. The ZR1 does that.
Yeah,
but it's not the same because it's 20 years later or whatever. But it's still neat.
The LFA killed its test driver. That does make it a legend of a car.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
the only thing in my mind that could make it any better is if they made like a Targa version, and they did make a Roadster version in Jay Leno drove, but it looked terrible. So then I was like, all right, let's right back.
Yeah, take it back.
And the Nürburgring edition, which is like the coolest, hardest core version, I don't like it as much because the spoiler is fixed.
Oh,
it takes away. I like the retractableness.
Yep. Dana Reaper, huge thank you for your super chat. Hello from the frozen south. It's very cold everywhere now. Yeah, it is cold. Rivian or Tesla? Well, Rivian doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I
can go buy a Tesla.
They might think they exist, but they sure don't. Both JR and Hoovy are waiting for their Cybertrucks. That is correct. I do have a Cybertruck Everything Edition order, like the best one there was. We'll see if it ever exists. I could not wait to have a truck like that. Or the Hummer.
Yeah, I did.
And the Hummer will actually exist, and the Cybertruck may never exist as well. I thought the only one was... Oh, no, the regular LFA is better. Yeah. Yes, everyone knows Rich is doing an LS swap on a Tesla. Rich is nailing that thing. He's got a Haltech on it, too. It's pretty cool. No, I love those things. I would love to have a Tesla Model S.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on. The Cybertruck will never exist. They look like a real-life
Warthog. They're so sweet.
Yeah, it might say they're going to build it, but he can never build the thing.
Yeah.
He already like went back on the whole thing because he scaled it down. So it's already a lie. And then eventually it'll become a true lie when it never gets made. That's it.
We'll see. I'm excited for the road.
I mean, Elon seems like he pulls it all off, but it's already years late. The new Hyundai concept car. I haven't. How do you feel about Nikola and Chevy? Well, the Nikola deal was all like worthless, right?
Yeah.
Like Nikola was completely lying about everything. They don't have any technology, and then Chevy bailed on them. So there you go. Thoughts on the Plymouth Prowler? I drove Hoovies. It was a car. It's still a bad transmission. Even with he's got that thing.
No, it's like
the tunes on it.
The shift.
It's got the CAI. It's got everything, and it's still not great. But
seats,
it's beautiful.
Crazy comfortable.
Yeah, it's
I never would have
beautiful
imagined that.
Yeah.
I think they're cool. I'm a fan of every car, and I think you'll agree with me on this. Whether you like it or not, I love when cars look like the concept car.
Yeah, that's right.
I appreciate that so much. Like the Chrysler Crossfire looks exactly like its concept car.
Yes.
The Chevy SSR looks exactly like the concept.
We're going to talk about some of that in my upcoming SRT is Dead video.
Well, I don't want to ruin it for you. I'm just a fan of cars that look like the concepts.
Absolutely.
You know, because there's so many cars that you're like, wow, and then it comes to production, it's so watered down or something's wrong, and I don't know. I'm a big fan of when they can make it happen.
GoPro Group, huge thank you for your super chat. Have you ever driven a 96 Toyota Tercel? I think I drove a Tercel once, but I don't know when it was. Chevy bailed on Nikola because the deal was bad. Like Chevy did the right thing. The Nikola thing was like, it was all lies, and they were going to steal like $100 million from Chevy. Nikola was going to steal the money.
Yeah. Nikola wishes they had.
Yeah, they wish they had the money. Yeah, Chevy totally went and did the right thing.
Thoughts on Apple or Kia car? I'm really excited to see if Apple
car is supposed to be a Kia or a Hyundai, but then Kia and Hyundai couldn't keep their mouths shut.
Exactly.
So Apple
backed out of that.
Yeah, Apple may have ditched them altogether.
I'm excited to see what they do. Apple hasn't screwed anything up yet.
Yep.
So,
have you heard of the Plymouth Howler? I have, and that is a real concept, but it never came out. The Lordstown truck, I don't know. It probably won't ever exist either, but I have a bunch of their shares. So
how about a drone racing league in the building?
Good old DRL, drone racing league.
Sweet. The only person we know that could handle that is Josh Darlin.
That's true.
He's really working on his first-person droning.
So
the Insight is the best car because 5-speed with auto start-stop. Yeah, but you have to take the freaking air conditioning off. You can't leave it on auto, dude. Prius, auto all day long and it'll stop.
I don't know if Chrysler made the wrong choice. You can, it has tap shift on the SRT6 Crossfire. But we're going to talk about the SRT6 some. Have you drove a Daihatsu Lula Presso? No, because that's not a car
Daihatsu's here.
It's not in the old Americas. What CPU do you have in your PC? The i9 9900K.
Don't rely. It's a Celeron.
It's a Celeron. That's the but the dual core Celeron. Come on.
Yeah, just the one that did the Pentium D or whatever. When they stopped naming them, and they became the budget one. They're like, I don't know, Pentium.
Really, the Celeron was the budget because they took the cash out.
Yeah,
and it was just junk.
It was like when they were in their Core series, when it was Core 2 Duos and Core 2 Quads.
But then the Celeron like became a really good
a really good one.
Yeah, yeah.
But then they had, like I said, the
something.
Pentium D or whatever. It had this like light blue box.
Yes.
It was so I don't know. That was back when I was building computers too, and I always hated even when putting that in somebody's computer. Like, you don't want this.
I wouldn't do that for anybody.
You don't want this.
Sorry, you can't have it. I only build i9 and i7 rigs. I can't do that for you.
I won't build it for you. I'm just like, wait.
Sorry. We talked about the K5 GC yesterday, I think. Didn't the K5 get killed as part of the K900 getting killed this month or something? Kia and Hyundai went through and knocked out a whole bunch of models just now. So, do you ride any electric bikes or motorcycles?
You got to ride.
I rode the Livewire,
and I want to so badly.
Oh,
my buddy got out of the Harley game just as that was coming out.
Did.
And I was like, dude, I can't wait to ride the Livewire.
Jacob, are you watching this? Do you still have a Harley connection? Because I want to buy a Livewire for the shop. Like the last 5 days, all I could think was, I need a Livewire. It's the perfect. So cool.
I just want to experience one because I love electric cars. I love motorcycles.
It'll blow your mind.
Work.
It will blow your mind. It's painful, dude. They gave me a helmet, but it wasn't a full face helmet. It was just like the Harley helmet.
It just rocked back on you.
No. It was fine. I strapped it on tight because I actually like to have a helmet on when I'm riding like quick. And as soon as I got out on the highway and twisted the throttle, like within like 1 second, the tears just exploded out of my eyes. You know, I couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
It's so fast that first you're like struggling to hang on, and then all of a sudden you can't see.
Yep.
Oh, the Livewire is stupid.
That was my first experience riding a 2-stroke dirt bike back when I was a
kid. That's true.
I went from all these like YZ or no, whatever it was. We were riding 4-stroke slow bikes, and then buddy got a YZ85 or whatever. We were still like 11, so it was like just this rocket of a bike.
Rocket ship.
And it was the same thing where you're like, oh god, I can't see all of a sudden. I didn't know what was happening because I didn't know that was a thing. Like I thought he was like, oh yeah, you just kind of squint. I was like, no, eventually
rotors
it only does
nasty.
so much.
I mean, two strokes are nasty.
Yeah, and then 125s.
Yep. Greg, huge thank you for your super chat. He said motory notary.
Thanks, Greg.
And then somebody said you should collab with Vice Grip Garage. I've actually hit him up and he never responded on the old gram. He probably doesn't see. I don't even see most of my DMs, so I can assume he just didn't see it, which is unfortunate.
Anytime you see any like monumentally great artwork thumbnail, it's Greg that does it on my channel.
Oh,
he's an artiste,
the thumbnail master.
Yes, yeah. If it's good, he made it.
What are each of your first computers? What's your first computer there? Since we're not talking.
No, that's actually a good question.
It was actually a BMW M6 with a single clutch and the computer ran.
It is the computer. No, my first one, man, I can't remember the model name. It was a compact.
A compact.
Which people are too young for that.
No, I'm not.
No, I know you're not, but it was a compact. I mean, I actually still had a Packard Bell too.
Yeah.
That was before before they were Hewlett Packard.
What was in each of these?
Oh God. My compact was probably a Pentium 3. For a personal computer.
What?
No. But then I've had older
computers. How old are you?
No. I had older computers, but the first one, like that, my dad was like, all right, this one is like yours and you're going to be in your own little area. It was like that.
First, I'll get back to that. But somebody said, is the beach house still in Derby? It is. And then somebody, Jordan, somebody verified in the channel, check, we got some royalty in here. Do you think electric cars are the future or more with Toyota on the hydrogen cell and electric hybrid? I don't think so. So California really went after the hydrogen thing, right? And that's all Arnold's fault. You know, Mr. Universe himself was like, we got to put hydrogen everywhere. And it didn't work. I think most of the hydrogen stations closed. So
well, it's hard to you can't fill it up like normal. It's a pressurized thing. You got to lock that thing in place. Like you can't just be like
and it fills kind of slow.
Yeah.
And it just has a lot of drawbacks, and I don't think people are going to adapt to it. And it's not exactly like easy and safe like the public is used to with gas pumps.
I love the idea of it. If you could fill it up quickly, if they were available everywhere, I love it.
Yes,
because that would be the future.
Hydrogen's cool, but you know what's better than hydrogen? CNG. Natural gas is everywhere. It's more stable, I think.
Yep.
And
we already have the infrastructure to have the natural gas.
Oklahoma lives on it. Yeah. Oklahoma sells so many Honda Clarities and so many Chevy Silverados because Chevy sells natural gas trucks, if you guys don't know this. And Josh and I, the intake that's on one of his cars is the natural gas intake because it flows better. And you get bigger injectors because natural gas has to put more volume in.
A lot of FedEx places, trucks run on them, buses run on natural gas in a lot of big cities.
I mean, this obviously is not like a good, look to the future energy saving move. It's just good. Natural gas is a really solid.
But then the electric car portion of it is awesome. That's so on its way.
Yes.
And it's great. You lose engine sound, yes. But I think that if you've ever been in an electric car, if you experience a launch in a Tesla or you experience a launch in something that's electric, you pretty much are not being like, boy, I wish that came with some sound. You're like, holy crap.
And honestly, the sound of the motors screaming and the inverters running is so much better.
It's different. There's still sound.
It feels like you're getting like launched out of a cannon.
It sounds like Tron sounds. It's just
the scream.
And you're like, oh.
It's really good in the Audi e-tron and in the Taycan because they have the Tron sounds.
Yeah, they make the cool sounds.
They make Tron sounds.
The downside is all you get is when you're just chilling on the highway, it's just road noise.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, it's louder in this car than it is in that. I was like, no, it's because there's nothing else happening. Even in the quietest gas cars, there's an engine rumble.
Back to first computers because we hit these super chat. John, huge thank you for super chat. Thanks for watching the channel, man. Greg, thank you for your super chat.
Each other's hair.
I got a wall, a hair.
We should do it. That's the thing. That's the thumbnail. It's just us being like.
You know what needs to come to the shop is JR's original game console with the compact and Oregon Trail.
Yes.
I think my compact got thrown away. My baby. Like that computer shared a lot of my heart. So Jordan here said my first computer was a Gateway with 32 megs of RAM and 200 megabytes of storage. And my compact, this wasn't my first computer. My first computer was an old Commodore, a Columbia. It was called a Columbia and it had a 486 XX or DX in it. And it ran DOS with X-Tree Gold. And it was my dad's computer in college. He gave it to me. And that's where I learned to use DOS.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's when you learn basic
play Space
commands.
Invaders. Yeah, because it had Space Invaders DOS, cool. Which was awesome. And then my next computer that was actually really good was a compact Presario, right? Presario? That
is a compact.
It was the one with the MMX with 166 Pentium, right? So the MMX was a huge jump over the 90 megahertz. Right. Huge jump because it had all the media encoding on board.
Yeah.
And then it had a 800 meg hard drive or 2 gig hard drive. Eventually I got a 40 gig hard drive, which was a game changer.
Yeah.
And it only had a 56K modem in it, which I ended up getting an Ethernet card and 32 megs of RAM.
40 gigs would have been difficult to fill up back then.
40 gigs was epic, dude.
It's like infinite.
I was trading off Star. I would have traded a car for a 40 gig back then.
Dude, I remember, this is how old I am because memory's gotten so cheap. I paid $80 for a 512 megabyte
absolutely
USB stick.
Absolutely.
Because I was like, this is how much bigger can these get? This is so cool. That stores nothing.
GM had a fire at their test hydrogen station back in the 90s. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Sounds right. So we'll see if the hydrogen game ever takes off. I don't think it will.
I mean, the other thing is you're driving around with this big compressed tank of hydrogen. If you got in a bad enough accident, you're looking at like leveling a city block.
And honestly, I think those tanks are like triple layered at this point.
I know they are, but it's just like, let's think about that for a second. That was always like the downside of them. I was like, it's all upsides, except
for the
something just ruptured that thing, and like anybody who wasn't even involved in the accident dies too. Like that's a big problem. Like all cities worldwide are getting like leveled because people are getting in minor accidents.
Freaking hydrogen tanks. So MMX was amazing, wasn't it? It was such a big jump in the computer game. You're getting a Dell server with 128 gigs of RAM tomorrow. That's really bad. I hate to tell you, but like most servers now that are running VMs have like 2 to 10 terabytes of RAM in them.
Dude, don't he's excited about it.
Sorry, man.
He's so excited about it. You're like, terrible.
128
terrible,
gigs is like free. Like those are the $300 servers at this point. They're getting cleared out. Did you ever get into Bitcoin mining? There's a bunch of videos on my channel about my old mining rig that had like 13 1080 Ti's. And currently I'm mining on the 3070 that's in here.
Right now, as we speak?
No, I turned it off. It's loud. I put it in silent mode. But no, that thing's making like $7 a day.
That's pretty cool.
I'm freaking sick, right? Yeah, like a couple $100 a month.
Commodore 64 rules. Yeah, we've got in my warehouse, we've got a sweet vintage computer collection. But the perfect one.
You do have all the old cool
stuff. We have like all unopened Apple II games. We have original Atari. We have a bunch of cool stuff.
Somebody said you were able to do that 30 series. Don't tell anyone I have a 3090 on the way too.
Don't tell anybody.
Got the 3090. The 3070 is going to get sold. The 3090 makes like $15 a day, which is sick. Yeah,
I like it. My Pentium 2 450 megahertz was amazing. I'm sure it was, dude. I loved early Pentium stuff. So cool.
Anyway, it's just everyone talking about computers.
I know.
We used to work in a steel mill called Met Glass, and we used VIC 20s to input data. Oh man, that is a throwback. Old school. I don't know how that was happening in 2006. That should have ended 10 years, 20 years before that.
You should do a collab with Doug DeMuro. We'll call him.
I mine ETH currently, pulling in 40 grand a month with A6 processors. What are A6 processors? Is that like an AMD thing? Because I don't play on that team at all. I only Intel. AMD Athlon 2X64 with XP. I still have a computer around here that has an Athlon 264.
Yeah, I have some Athlons.
They're awesome. That chip lived for it was still viable for like 15 years.
It's wild.
It was a really, really good chip. AMD does know how to kill it, but why? Intel knows how to do it.
Intel, surpassed them so quickly. I mean, even the fact that AMD was still using like big ass pins,
right?
And like if you even like
bend one pin,
it's done.
It's over. Yeah, I need to figure out what an A6 is. Apparently, if it makes 40 grand a month.
Favorite single clutch car that you operate with your left foot?
The Miata.
The Miata. Okay.
The C5 Corvette, except for the 1-2 shift. Because you can't full throttle shift a C5 manual. It'll never pull into second gear. Yeah. You have to like let out really hard to get second gear.
The synchros are
it's really bad.
A problem. Usually third goes out pretty bad.
I don't edit on a PC, Lewis. I edit on the Mac because the Mac is like 50,000 times better. I can't even express how bad the PC is at editing. Use Final Cut. What, Miata is always the answer? That's true. Sold my landscaping company and bought 250 grand of computers to mine. That is an epic move.
That's sweet.
That's sweet, dude. That is a great story. Brian and I looked
also going from literal like manual working with your hands labor
to
mining.
That's cool, man.
I mean, everybody in your industry is gonna be like, "You're doing what?"
Yeah, you're gonna quit. You're gonna quit this super stable.
There's all these guys with back problems coming home sweating, and they're like, "You did what?"
Yeah. I don't have an M1 Mac yet, but it's actually faster than the i9 Mac.
I do.
Oh, you do too?
Yeah, I just got it.
I didn't know you had one too. I didn't know you
got it. Now you're the only one that doesn't.
I'm the only person that doesn't have an M1 Mac because it's just as good as
the thing that sucks. I really wanted to get the 15-inch, but they don't make an M1 15-inch yet.
Yes. Yeah. I actually don't because that just needs to go in for service and then I'll go back to it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I need the M1 to tide me over while that's getting fixed because I don't know how long Apple needs it. So, yeah, we're talking about mining Bitcoin. He's talking about mining ETH. But we're done talking about mining. Ivo G3 still plays internet music stream on iTunes 4. Yeah, I would say that probably works, but you're literally playing with dinosaurs. Dinosaurs. I have 10 M1s in front of me right now. Are they all Mac Minis, Chris? Sounds cool. What do you think about the free valve engine? I don't think it will.
It'd be so cool. I want to see it happen.
Wouldn't it be cool if it exists?
It'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Like if they can get a contract, all they need is one contract with any major manufacturer, and it would be, and then everybody else would be like, "Oh shit, we should do that."
Yeah,
we should do that.
Yeah, do the thing.
Like, I'm a fan of the technology,
right?
But
free valve seems really cool.
Yeah,
infinitely variable valve timing. That's what we're talking about here. How many jobs have you had? A lot. I've kind of worked in every industry a little bit, so I've had a few jobs. WatchJR DOS. No thanks. I don't like DOS that much. I can navigate. If you feel like using DOS, just use Linux at the command line. Left foot operated clutch car is a Fiero with an LS. That's pretty sweet. Obviously, that's a monster.
Hard to keep it going in a straight line. I'm sure that's a lot of power and a little wheelbase.
Bought my wife a new MacBook Air and it doesn't even have fans, which is kind of why I want the Air because that's really cool.
It is cool, but I like the MacBook Pro 13.
Yeah,
has a fan, but it doesn't run unless you're pissing it off.
Well, you edit on it, right? So it runs full throttle. Okay. Yeah, because this thing runs its fans like flat out.
If you're just cruising or like surfing or whatever, it's like a Chromebook. It's
that thing screams.
Yeah. It's gonna
WatchJR OS 2. First of all, we had to do a system once that had to integrate with OS 2, so we bought it. Like in 2004, we bought OS 2, an unopened box set of OS 2, and had to like get that installed and use it, and it was terrible. Terrible. When did you first get into motorcycles? When I was 5. That's when I got my first motorcycle. It was a Scat Cat 5 horsepower mini bike, and it was cool. OS 2 Warp. That's right.
We have a computer running OS 2 Warp.
Can't change hard. Why do you guys want to work on your computers? That's why you buy a Mac. Like you don't need to change the SSD.
You order it right, and then you live with it.
And it lasts forever.
Exactly.
And then you've got, like right here, I've got tons of SSDs that are USB 3.
Yeah, if you need more power or if you need more storage,
you don't need to ever work on a computer if you just buy the computer for what you're doing. So anyway, I have no reason to care that the hard drives aren't changeable or the RAM. Actually, it's way better because if it's soldered on the board and you can't change it, it has no failure point.
Right, exactly. There's no...
Apple knows what they're doing. Yeah. I'm not an Apple shill either. I just know that they build the best stuff. Like I can throw this like 400 foot and it probably won't break. I could literally just chuck it and yep, it's just good. Anyway.
Did I ever drive a Skyline GTR?
I have driven an R32 that was a perfect right-hand drive one that had just been imported.
That's nice.
And I wasn't expecting it to be as fun as it was, but it was really good.
I've only driven R35s.
Yes.
Still great.
R35s are amazing. Mac problems equal Scuzzy. Well, Scuzzy's pretty dead.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it completely exists because that's all SAS is. But Scuzzy as a protocol is very dead, just like the technology lived on elsewhere. Toyota has problems as well. The new engines have low pressure piston rings that burn tons of oil. That would make sense. I could see Toyota doing that.
Thoughts on a 97 Accord with a V6 2.7 liter.
Didn't we talk about this yesterday? I think we did talk about that yesterday, I think. Go watch. I know Louis Rossmann, so I don't need to go watch him. I know his opinion is like, I don't like Apple because it's all a closed ecosystem and you can't change anything. And my opinion is the exact opposite. I love Apple because it's a closed ecosystem that nobody can hack into any of it because of like how epic iMessage is. End-to-end 512-bit encryption, unless you use the cloud backups. But no, they're unbelievably good at what they do. Yeah, Lewis is wrong, but we have different reasons.
Man, I wish I had better eyesight because I'm over here.
Yeah, squinting. Here, look. We have this cheat code called dual monitors.
Oh, dang.
Oh, man, that monitor is not bright.
But no, then we're both going to be doing this.
This monitor is so dark. I'm going to fix this one while we're dealing with that.
The folks are not going to like this because now I'm reading.
Now we're looking at the wrong side.
At a totally wrong screen.
I forgot my monitor brightness when they're calibrated.
Honestly, it's still
supposed to be like
small. You might as well
30.
put it back. Just put it back.
Okay.
Because I'm going to have to be doing this now.
Oh, it's fine. Whatever.
Ooh, I see what you're looking at.
Oh, that car I was going to buy?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see. That car would be amazing.
It would be.
Yeah.
Jay Lauer sent me a similar one, and I was like,
did you see what's wrong with it?
No.
Oh, well, here, look at the pictures.
Oh, I see in quotes.
Yes, it is in quotes. We talked about it yesterday, but like,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what?
So I think I can get it for $10,000. And it would be another build that no one's ever done anything like before.
That'd be awesome.
Ever.
You should.
I should. Okay, we're back.
Power Stroke versus Duramax. I think we talked about that yesterday. You talked about it yesterday. I said we. I was just watching.
Yeah, the Duramax may be the greatest diesel in reality.
Yeah, the Duramax is the better motor.
Yeah, but the truck is really bad. Yep. Power Stroke. And you know what? The thing is, the 6.7 Power Stroke is so good that there's no reason to ever like eschew it. You should definitely just buy it. So, yeah. So I know the Louis Rossmann message is right. Right to repair would be cool. But if it never breaks, why do you need a right to repair it? Yeah. It's the Macs are literally like that thing is going to have one problem and it's the battery exploded. Apple will fix it and then it'll go right back on living for the next 10 years like they always do.
And I've done from back in the day Mac repair before.
Yeah.
And it is actually great to work on.
Yeah.
Even
nice.
that is better. Is so much better than, having to re-figure out how to take apart each different PC manufacturer's laptop.
Back to transmissions. What do you think of the Allison transmission?
That's awesome.
It's like
I love it.
It's like the best transmission there is.
Transmission. That's what they advertise it. It's a tank transmission.
Yes.
Well, because they use it in tanks, but it itself is a tank.
Right.
I mean, you never hear people breaking Allisons ever.
Never.
No matter how much power they throw at them.
And somebody's saying Lewis fixes Macs all day, but that's because people broke them. If you use them correctly, which is not tearing them up, they don't ever break. I mean, I've had so many Macs for everything they've ever made, and I've always been able to work on it, or it's never broken. So that's it.
Vic asked, "How cold is it today?"
It is currently -6,
cold.
and the wind chill
is.
Let
me picture what that feels like.
What's the feels like? The feels.
I'm gonna get it to before you do.
-18. -18 currently.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow. The feels like was -29 last night, and this morning. I was like, wowza.
I dislike people's go-to answer of Toyota for reliability. The R22 is what most people are referring to, which put out 70 crank horsepower. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, GM does make better engines in reality, but they always have some terrible Achilles heel. Obviously, the 3800 does not, other than maybe the water, the cooling passages. Not the passages, really, the plastic pipes. But the early LS was fully bulletproof, right? Has never had a problem. The DoD LS, of course, has DoD problems forever. So
the DoD LS.
Yeah. Dead or dead.
Yeah, somebody asked me how long have I been in the YouTube game. About 1 year solidly. But I've had a YouTube account, I think if you look, since like 2006 or 7.
I got you beat.
I bet you do. I used to have another YouTube account, but I had one back when YouTube wasn't like a thing. It was almost like a Dropbox for videos. It was like you just put videos on there and like show your friends.
Oh yeah.
You know, like early YouTube was such a weird place, and before it was like this standardized thing that it is now.
Jordy's talking about the bolts stripping off the exhaust manifolds in the LS, which is like, that always happens, honestly. Yeah. Like, it's really hard to make them seal. So
there's more than just LSs that have that problem, though.
Yeah.
6.3 or 6.2 Mercedes motors.
They're always leaking on the early GMs, and you got to do that stud fix thing. There's a little thing you can bolt in that will like pull the exhaust manifold back onto the engine.
Somebody just did the work for you. JR joined September 17th, 2006. Yeah, so you definitely have me beat. I had to lie about my age at the time.
Oh yeah, I probably did too.
Yeah,
I probably did too. I was definitely in high school computer class making my 100%. YouTube account.
Yep. Me and Jacob sat next to each other and we were like, dude, we might as well make our own account.
You know, the best thing about high school computer class is on the wall. We never had a single Mac in that entire school, but on the wall there was a huge poster of the PowerBook G4, the all aluminum one.
So cool.
And it said something amazing because Apple's marketing was amazing, you know. And then all PCs.
Yep. The computer store I worked at for like years, even into college.
Yeah.
We had some of those from that, and like years after that wasn't the correct Mac anymore. We still like left them up because it was like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, they made great posters, great marketing. Just wait till you pull the engine and change the starter on a 5.7 iForce. Yeah, that actually checks out. That would be terrible. Old Toyota things.
Gold modern prototype, an LS1 1996 C4. I mean, I would love to LS swap a C4.
Nah.
I mean, that didn't exist, but I'm just saying I would love to do. I've seen them, and I think it would be great. I'm such a C4 like diehard though.
Oh, man, I hate that car.
I know, but you only had an early one.
If I bought another one, I'd probably cut it up too. I'm just kidding. I want a C401. The C401 is like
unreal.
That's a grail car.
That's my grail car too. But a later one, like there was one for sale on Cars and Bids recently, but it was like everything I don't want. It's a 90. They made the most 1990 C4s.
Yeah.
They didn't have very much horsepower then. It had the worst because it had the old 80s front end, but modern back end. And literally every year after that, the production was like tiny. Yeah. So it's like the 90. If you see 5-01 for sale, it's almost always a 1990. And anything else after that is rare and cooler.
Yeah, yeah. So the 01 would be amazing.
92, 93 had the turbine wheels, but wider, which is cool. And then 94s and 5s had the cool big boy 5 spokes like I have on mine.
Gotcha.
And those are the coolest looking ones.
Yeah.
And my dad had a 94 in 94.
I like the old solid shooter too.
Yeah.
The C4 isn't really the worst gen though. Maybe
no, the late C3 is the worst gen.
Yeah, I think the C3 is by far the worst. Everybody hates
it. If anybody watched my other video, we've got an 81 in the warehouse that's for sale right now, and it's the worst possible year of Corvette. I'm sorry if anybody has one, but it's still a 1968 underneath, but nothing changed except for the motor kept getting less and less powerful to the point where it only makes like 60 more horsepower than my Prius does, and it's a V8. And it drives like it too. I actually bet my Prius might be faster than it. It is the most out of breath V8.
I did have the worst C4 too because I had a Crossfire.
You had a Crossfire.
The Crossfire is a joke.
But yeah, in the 81, the back glass didn't even open up, so it still drives like a 68, but it's not a 68. 68s actually have more power and more fun to drive. And it was like, oh, I'm driving an old car.
Why do you keep buying stance cars? Jordy says. That's actually like an accident. I don't mean to. The Scion I meant to because I knew I could save it. The 350Z, I didn't realize how bad it was going into it because the engine was out of it, so the suspension was at like a normal height. And when it got loaded down, I was like, "Oh, this is really bad." Actually, what I got underneath it really is so. That one was an accident, but I don't purposely buy stance cars because they're all trashed.
350Z though, speaking of that, one of the best cars I ever owned. But I also did own them when they were still making them.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody that's in the chat right now, you think 350Z, you think of a $7,000 one that is collapsed.
I also drove a brand new one from a dealership, and it was amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
same thing with the 370. It was like brand new. Oh my god, this was
370 when it came out, and it had the rev matching.
Oh god, it was so cool.
Stupid good. Nissan did know how to make cars.
Yep, and then they just were like overnight. They're like, we're
done.
We're good. We made our money.
Did you get your pilot's license? I did not. We the warehouse deal went through right when I was like working on it, and I just had to stop that because we're pretty much working on it nonstop.
RSX or Risk
RSK.
Man, see,
I don't know what RSK means. Renault screwed Nissan. I don't know if that's true.
Elliot needs a 370Z. I do need a 370Z Viking Warrior. It might happen, but I'd buy a convertible, and everyone would be like, "Why?
Why'd you do that?" You know what I need is a Renault Twizy. That's what I need.
wanted, right? Even Kenzie saw a video of Twizy, and she's like, "That's neat." And I'm like, "Oh, so when those come to town, or when those become legal to import, I can get one of those." Let's see.
Still getting a Mach-E? Nah. I canceled that when the Cybertruck came out, and now the Cybertruck's never going to come out.
Oh, Bob the Hat King. Hi, Elliot. And then a blanked out, what's his name? Scotty Kilmer reference. That's great. How did you meet Tyler Hoover? A giveaway. It was a competition. I wish that was the case. No, I'm just going to answer for him because I think we met him the same way. It's just kind of one of those mutual car club friend thing. And I mean, Wichita, we have a big car community, and it's a big enough town, but certain level of car groups, you kind of end up just meeting everybody.
Did Radio Shack die again? That's a great question because there's one right beside my warehouse, but it's one of the last ones in the entire country. It's not it's weirdly a Radio Shack, but like I don't think they have much Radio Shack branded stuff because the stuff doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. It's honestly really odd. I think there might be like 5 left in the country or something. Well,
they're all like it's on the individual owner.
Right. It is. They kept it.
Yeah.
But somehow they still show stuff or sell a few things that say Radio Shack.
That's so weird. That's cool. Yeah. I miss them. Yeah. I do miss them.
It is obviously it's private. Yeah. Totally privately owned. Well, yeah, but sometimes you need Radio Shack stuff.
It doesn't matter what color your hair is as long as you still have it. I agree. I will take gray over bald every day.
People keep asking what I think of Rich Rebuilds, which I've talked about at length many times.
Just go crazy.
He's the funniest.
Start a feud right now.
He's the funniest guy.
I won't watch him.
I will never watch that guy.
Just put your foot down on it.
There is literally like no one funnier than him. I mean, it's like better than stand-up comedy. The Connollys, thank you so much for your super chat. Thanks for watching the channel.
That's a nice beer.
We actually should walk around that last Radio Shack and do like a tour.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Be like, look, there are no more.
It'd be like
to see inside.
It'd be like an exploration video.
The last remaining.
What's over here?
Oh man. Boom. Fixed
here.
My mining rig is maybe $1,333 today. That is sick.
Ron Jeremy question was funny before it got
I know.
I can't condone it, but it made me laugh.
Are you going to get your 67 Camaro going? It is going. We've been driving it. So there's nothing wrong with that thing. James, thank you so much for your super chat. Missed $300 car flips. Can't wait to see what's in store. Obviously, more flips are coming up.
Yeah, it's
a whole bunch. As soon as we get this stuff worked out, heat and the balcony's done, the shop will kind of take shape, and we're good. We're good. People did that with the last Blockbuster, got 500,000 to 1 million views, which makes sense because the last Blockbuster was pretty cool.
Scott, I agree. I should get into some car flips.
Somebody's talking about the Doge. Let's check on the Doge.
I'm in.
It was
I'm
down.
in on Doge.
The Doge was down today.
But I'm not doing well.
We really need to go.
I bought it at the wrong time.
Yeah. It was
But I'm gonna hold tight. Everyone says it's going to $1, and if the internet says it,
I hope you didn't buy much. Okay, good. I made the mistake of playing with it. Like I got in when it was like at the top, and then Robin had locked me out of trading it. That was a bad.
See, I'm in, and I'm gonna hold it until I'm not screwed. But yeah, it's not looking good.
James said, "Give this $5 to the Motory Notary."
Okay.
There you go.
Thanks.
Yeah.
He'll give me at least $250 of it. That's our contractual agreement for this.
There's no contractual agreement.
I can't wait till like yesterday somebody was sending you New Zealand dollars. I was like, man, I don't even know what that translates to.
He did that again earlier. He's watching.
Okay.
Time in hands.
Dude, yes. I'm way diamond handing this.
It says the mic's clipping, but it's not, and there's like we haven't changed anything. It's just like there's nothing we can do. So ain't nothing we can do about that. Sorry,
it was poppy.
It's like a service thing.
Do you have a Patreon? John Ross does have a Patreon, but I don't think he actively draws people to it.
It's just WatchJRGo or /WatchJRGo. So yes, I do. Well, don't like talk about it much. No, we haven't changed anything with the volume.
Sound issues could be the cold.
Yeah.
The audio does not like cold.
So
it freezes up the data.
I was like, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't like, there's no controls,
Yeah,
you know. It probably is auto gain in reality. There, I hit mute and unmute.
Yeah, we're not even.
It shows it's working
Yeah, I
perfectly.
know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's got 2 bars on the YouTube's audio meter.
YouTube's thrilled with it.
Yeah, YouTube likes it.
Do you have a GoFundMe? Not yet. I mean, unless one of us breaks our leg or something.
Right. Are you going to keep using Robinhood? Probably, just because it's easy.
Man, the interface looks great. I mean, I know what they did was not cool.
Super messed up.
Boy, their interface looks so much better than everybody else's trading.
Honda Ridgeline, no.
Let's see here.
I would do it for the channel, but I just don't want to own one.
Best car track car. I say the Maserati. I don't think the Maserati is the best car track car.
What is the best car track car?
It's a tough call, though. I really like the 360, but maybe it's because I like the 360 as a whole. That 360 is kind of been on the block.
I forget that I've driven almost every car track car.
I've driven, you have to say, like I said, I've driven.
Oh, man.
I've driven a version of all of them.
All of them. I drove the 360, which is amazing, actually.
Yeah, it's
now that it's like really sorted. Oh
great.
man, that car's good. And I haven't driven your Maserati though.
You need to. Now it's no. Oh,
I have driven the SL.
It's better now after this weekend than it was.
I know.
So now I can actually let people drive it.
Do you have plans to go to the Freedom Factory? I've been there, man. Me and Cletus have hung out there.
Vantage V12 or Audi I would go with the Vantage V12.
Who's your favorite flat track racer? Scotty, what's his face? Scotty, the king from back in the day. What's his name? If you're into AMA or flat track racing, you know who I'm talking about.
Tony Stewart.
No, Tony Stewart. The one famous flat track racer. He was. I have a
and the reason he's really famous is because he killed the guy. That happened.
It did happen.
Yeah, that felt really bad.
Scott Parker. Scott Parker was the king of flat track racing. I have a helmet shield that's signed by him.
Oh, that's actually a great question. What car truck haven't you? I'm going to correct his grammar. Driven yet?
What car track car haven't I driven?
What? I thought it was what car or truck haven't you driven?
Oh, I don't know.
That's actually
there's a lot that I haven't driven yet.
But it's almost all the ones that people throw out. Be like, what about this? If it's somewhat popular, one of us has an experience in it. I feel like
somebody said, "Would you recognize Tony Hawk in person?" And
I'd like to think so.
I think I don't. Well, I'm gonna come up and be like, "You look a lot like Tony Hawk." If I ever see him, and just be like, "Nah, you can't be him," and then I'm gonna walk away.
Yeah, just
so he
tweets about it.
I know because he'll tweet about it.
So great.
Tony Hawk is the GOAT. What if money is no object? Dream 3-car garage. That's a good question.
Yeah, that's always tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you go for it.
Aventador,
obviously.
Lexus LFA. Ford F-250 Power Stroke.
Okay, for me,
that's it.
I'm gonna go daily first, and it would be a Cayenne Turbo, probably the coupe.
Smart.
I love them.
Aventador
SV Roadster specifically, because that is the most flashy look at me Lamborghini. I don't even want the SVJ. I like the SV spoiler.
Nobody likes the SVJ.
I like the SV.
Like the SVJ is kind of universally hated because they just charge $750,000 for a car that's worth like 150.
Right, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
but I love the SV Roadsters.
Yep.
And then other than that, I need a Ferrari of some sort, so probably a 599 GTO.
Smart. It's a good one. And honestly, I would change my F-250 to an F-350 because I need to do work every day, and I don't drive any other cars. I really just drive my truck all the time because it's like perfection in a car.
I'm also
F-350 Platinum. And the reason is when you're pulling a trailer, you need a dually because you can lose a tire.
True. I'm also thinking, I'm also in my dream car garage. If I ever need a truck, I'm always thinking I can like borrow my dad's. This is like you don't know anybody and you're isolated in this town. And it's like, oh crap, I probably need a truck too.
No, I'm talking like
you just legitimately want the truck. Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, I just assume that I can only have these 3 cars.
Yeah.
And
I always think I'm like, these are the only 3 cars that I have, but I could always borrow a truck. I was like, forget about that.
This channel about things that go boom, we're never going to answer because
YouTube, you can't do that.
That's not something you talk about here. Would you buy a 2018 Ram 3500 manual? Manual truck is the worst.
Drive it though. I want to try to drive.
I don't even want to drive. I don't want it to exist. I hate manual trucks. I hate them unless it's a sport truck. Sport trucks are different, but trucks that should pull trailers should never have a manual.
They only belong to love them though.
No, they don't. Nobody loves them.
And I love them because it's like, the stick shift is 4 feet long. It's like driving a Model A, and it's so great.
Does the shop have gas yet? Negative. We're working on it. We talked about the Prowler. What else are we talking about here? Somebody said white Lexus LFA, blue 992 911 Turbo S, and an Audi RS6. That's a good garage. It's a good garage.
Ooh, I actually have to think also. I might exchange my Cayenne for unlimited money. I might do a Ferrari GTC4.
Yes.
Because it's the.
And you could actually, if you wanted to like combine some stuff, you could buy the Urus.
Yeah.
And just have it all in one.
That's true.
Yeah,
the Urus is a fancy Cayenne.
It is. It's kind of everything. Better whip. Raptor V6. Wait, Raptor V6 Mustang or 4-cylinder Mustang EcoBoost?
Raptor for me.
I mean, probably the Raptor, because you need a truck and you don't need a Mustang.
Yeah, the Raptor can be your fun car and useful. Like, you could justify it.
Right.
You come home with the Raptor, your wife is not going to be that mad.
That's right. You can take your family out in it. It's nice. Like, no one's going to be upset about it.
You come home with the 4-cylinder Mustang, your wife's mad, and then she's going to be like, and it's not the V8? Like, so you're going to get like a double whammy. No, she's going to not know. But
she just divorces you.
Yeah, she's just like, so it's not practical, and it's not like the cool one.
Oh, that's a good one too. Straight resolutions here. Straighter Solutions said E63S, which is an unbelievable car. Unbelievable. AMG GTR and a Prevost 45, which is also like, that's
great.
There you go. You could pull a trailer with your giant diesel bus. What's the point of the 4-cylinder Mustang? The fact that it's faster than the V6 with like a tune.
It is cool. I mean, it's like they're cool. The
V6 doesn't need to exist.
Yeah, I was being a little harsh on them.
It was just a joke.
Yeah.
The 4-cylinder Mustang's amazing. Amazing.
Elliot, you gonna do any rallies this year? I'd love to. If I need to get a car that can actually do it, Maserati would not make it. Especially with the way you need to drive, it's not up for the challenge yet.
I do have a rally. You should come on with us. We're
yes.
kind of like, it's soon-ish.
It's next week.
I need the R8 done before.
You do.
Yeah. I need the tune. Anyone remember Legit Street Cars' recent video where Tyler mentioned Amber and JR made an awkward face? I don't think that happened in his video. That was in Tyler's video when we were changing the lights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't think we shot anything with the three of us.
Somebody said we're on a 63 Lincoln Continental convertible. I love them because they still have suicide doors even in the convertible. Oh, it's so cool.
AJ, thanks for your super chat. Can't wait for the next YouTube Mafia pickleball matchup. And thanks for
yeah.
So if you guys saw, there was a live stream on Elliot's channel where we all played pickleball together, and we actually went pretty hard. It was a very aggressive pickleball.
It went from being like, this will be fun,
to like just hit the ball at the other person as hard as you can and see if we can hit it.
It would be you and 100% Jake.
And Jake.
And we went for it. It was still nice outside. It was good times.
Somebody keeps asking if I've met Tavares. He has sat here in this very seat.
Yeah.
Actual facts. There's video of it. But Tavares has definitely been here. Have you met Micah Munzio? I don't know who that is.
He's I think he's one of the other guys. Him, Shmi, and one of the other guys exposed the the run, the 316.
SSC. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thing. Gotcha. Jared says Ferrari F40 shooting brake, loaded 3500 Duramax High Country, which is a good choice for truck. It's just not that nice inside. You should pick a Ram Limited. The Ram Limited is a king. And then a 69 Yenko Camaro, which is obviously
very Jared choice.
A classic choice in reality.
I don't think they ever made the F40 shooting brake though.
Yeah, I don't think they. Yeah,
I don't think that's a real car. Yeah, but I like the idea of it.
Yeah,
the F40 is just so cool.
There you go.
Tavares farted in that seat. Hey, now that's my joke.
I don't think he did.
Tavares 100% farted.
But we did all go have Mexican food right before that. That's true. We had we went down the street to that Los Cocos or whatever, The
place is great.
Yeah, with Tyler and everybody. Yeah. Terrell, huge thank you for your super chat. Golf GTI or TDI? GTI for sure.
The TDIs are fun.
Yeah, the diesels are great.
From like 0 to 30. And then the GTI is more fun.
I don't know why this comment even exists. I mean, it is the dumbest automotive channel on YouTube, but it's like the funniest.
Yeah. But the emojis, man, you're all over the map with that one.
Yeah, unicorn,
unicorn nails.
Wu-Tang Clan.
Guy doing this, puking, and
Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang is forever. That's funny.
Freddie looks like a chronic farter. Yeah. I didn't say it. I'm just reading it.
All right. Will you ever work on a PT Cruiser? I would. I like the PT Cruiser because it's different.
Right. And like a dream car of mine is still the PT Cruiser GT convertible manual.
That's right.
That's what I want.
Yep.
Hard to find.
That's the Wu-Tang is for the kids. Wu-Tang is forever. Opinions on the Aztec. I love that car. Love the Aztec.
They're cool.
Especially the one with the painted cladding.
Yes. Yeah. The later years.
Yeah. That's right.
And fun fact, it's still plastic down there. It's just painted plastic.
Michael Musio is from the KBB.
Kelly Blue Book?
He literally owns Kelly Blue Book.
Well, then there we go.
I don't know. I don't know either. Jag going electric can't get any worse. Probably, honestly. I think the Jags with first the F-Type is like the coolest thing ever. But it's the only good thing they make, right? The F-Type is the end and beginning.
The I-Pace is pretty cool, but its styling is a little like
It's not really good.
And nobody knows about it. If you see it, they're like, "What is this?"
Yeah, it looks like something totally else, something totally different.
What about Dodge Caliber?
Have you met Randy from Auto Auction Rebuilds? We've done videos together. Watch Weston or Randy's videos where Randy made videos about that car he came down here to get with Weston and I. So yes. Have you met JR Garage? No. Would you lift your F-250? No. Lucas Electronics EV? Yes. Can you imagine having an EV that could break?
Yeah.
Like EVs are unbreakable, basically.
Yeah.
Nothing goes wrong. Batteries go bad.
Oh, they'd figure out a way.
Yeah, but with Lucas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'd be like,
come and swapped Audi. No. These are easy questions to answer. I would not ever come and swap an Audi. Thoughts on the Toyota 18R and 22Rs? I want to buy a truck that has a 22R in it, I think, because it's pretty bulletproof. We were kind of talking about that earlier. But, you know, I like Toyota engines. I like GM engines a little bit more. It's hard to find decent cars. Is it hard to find decent cars to build? Yes, it's impossible. There are no cheap cars anymore. They're kind of all gone at the moment. Everyone got stimulus checks and all the prices tripled.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Honda 250 scooter. It is directly outside this window.
Do you want to build?
Do you want to build a snowman? Yes.
I have a daughter who had to watch Frozen solid for a year, just on repeat.
On repeat.
So, yeah. Oh.
I did when it came out. I did watch Fast and Furious, the first one.
Yeah.
Like every day for 30 days.
I watched it so many times.
Yep. Yep. What's causing the crazy used car market prices to go up? The fact that the economy doesn't exist anymore, and isn't real, and everyone's getting free money from the government, and
there weren't any more used cars, so all of a sudden, like even the most boring used car had value.
Yep,
and it was like it just got nuts.
A car that should be $3 is now $1,500.
Stupid.
Yeah. So, yeah. Are you just gonna say yes or no this whole live stream? No.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Have you met Rich Rebuilds? Yes. Daniel, huge thank you for your super chat. Some diesel for the heater. Hopefully we have gas. Hopefully really soon. Really soon. Anyway, I think we've answered a lot of questions here. Stimulus for clunkers. That is kind of what that became, isn't it?
Pretty much. Yeah.
First we had cash for clunkers, where they took bad cars, and honestly, they took out
They actually took a lot of good
cars and destroyed them all.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have stimulus for clunkers, which gave everybody money to fix cars that should have been crushed.
Right.
Some like really
buy cars that shouldn't have been.
Yeah, stuff that was really truly bad. So it's the exact opposite. Turbo LS swap the snowman. Yes.
Yeah, it's the obvious
Clearly,
choice.
We only have one turbo here right now, but that's okay. Build a Miata. I'd love to. Hyperstrike. Huge thank you for your super chat. Hit me swap a smart car. I don't think it can actually
fit.
I don't think it'll be done. It can't be done.
Yeah, the little engine compartment is pretty stuffed with that 3-cylinder.
The only thing we could do is like cut out a bunch of the body to like make a V for that engine to drop into.
Ooh, or you do it like those Baja bugs and you hang the motor out of the back.
We could hang the motor out of the back and then put weights on the front.
Yeah, just put that like bar around it.
We get some of the tractor weights that you put on.
Yeah, for tractor.
That's right. You drop the tractor weights on the front so that it would all work out. Yeah, even go-karts are $2,000.
Oh,
everything's nuts.
Somebody's real funny. You should buy a Hellcat Challenger, LOL. Yeah, somebody should.
They should.
Somebody in San Jose, California, can buy one right now at Stevens Creek Nissan for $55,000.
Yeah.
They raised the price.
I see.
Because now it's all salty. So,
yeah.
$55K, guys.
So there's a Bolt that I wanted to go buy. It was $24K, and they just bumped it up to $26. It doesn't make any sense.
Crazy.
If I'm buying it, they're going to drop it back down to $23. Hellcat swap a minivan. Dodge is going to do that for you.
Yeah.
Even though they probably won't at this point because SRT's gone. So it's the end of the fun cars. The end of the fun cars. Who else are you going live with this week? We'll see if Hoobie wants to do something tomorrow. What are you buying with the Challenger money?
Stuff.
Top secret things.
Stuff.
$15,000 markup on a Telluride in Florida is insane. Here's the thing. It's not insane because the Hyundai and Kia, the Palisade and the Telluride are like the best selling SUVs of all time right now. And they're also perfect, right?
They're very good.
Yeah, they built like the greatest thing ever. And the wait list to buy a Telluride and a Palisade, if you want to like customize them, is like 1 year.
That's crazy. My neighbor has one.
So I can actually see people paying $15 over sticker to get one because it's really good.
My neighbor's very happy. They have Telluride. They have a couple of kids. It's really great.
Hyundai knows how to build things, man.
All right. I have to go because my wife needs me to pick stuff up from Target.
Ah.
It's not fun. Isn't that fun reality?
That actually sounds like a wife thing. Target.
It's a very wife thing.
Yeah. Oh, gotta need some Target.
And, well, I mean, it's only it's -4 out right now.
Kelvin says your wife did good driving a manual.
Thank you. You know what? She did do a really good job. And she was, it was so hard to convince her to be on camera. But once she was on there, she did great.
Yeah, totally fine.
And now I have to have her on all the time because everyone's going to be,
where's your wife?
Your situation.
Oh, man. Where'd she go?
Where is she?
I don't know. She took a vacation. Didn't take me. Need a Wichita YouTuber podcast from the Motul Lounge.
Should be cool.
Well, when it's done, hopefully soon, we're going to do that. Anyway, I think that is it for today, guys. Huge thank you to @ElliotAlvis. Check his channel out for coming over and jumping in the live stream here. Oh, absolutely, dude. Figured we talk about how the single clutch is the greatest transmission.
It is, and we have to just end it on that because it is. There's no discussion about it.
There's really not, other than the fact that the dual clutch is a much better transmission.
Right. but the single clutch is really great.
It's true. All right, guys, have a great night. I hope you enjoyed watching the live
guys.
stream, us hanging around talking about cars. And I'm going to be back on Twitch in a few minutes streaming Star Wars Jedi Outcast 2. So if you're bored and feel like not talking about cars, absolutely not. We're really not talking about cars in the shop. We're literally just playing some Star Wars and having a good time. I'll be over there doing that.
I'm out. I'll be at Target.
Have fun at Target, man. I hope you find lots of unnecessary stuff.
For sure.
And don't forget to head over to shop. WatchJRGo.com. We're getting cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I'll talk to you next time. I almost nailed the timing.
That was pretty great.